Greetings, everybody. Still hot in the solstice portal right now. Yeah, the world is really streaming light codes upon everything, which is really exciting. So, how's everybody doing through this beautiful solstice? Absorbing the new energies. There's so much new energy about. So if you're just hanging into the still point, that's absolutely fine. So I'm just going to wait for a few people to come in from Kebe and around, and it's cooling off after a very, very, very hot day. It's really intensely hot. I believe in Canada as well. I was just chatting with PG, my partner in art. Not crime, nope. My PRC. It's my PRA. Very grateful for the energies and for the visuals, because I usually am able to make so many visuals in my own head, but sometimes it's just really just wonderful to know that somebody is also linking into some of the visuals that I'm working with, and that I can trust and use those visuals for my space. Wow, I keep seeing this picture and it keeps looking like something completely different. So let's get clearing. Oh, wow. Let's get clearing the amazing temples. I am still anxious about the temples. So way too much magic around. I don't do magic. It's a personal thing. I do earth magic. I do personal magic. I believe that all the magic we have is within our body. And that's where we're going. That this is just this incredible instrument that contains absolutely every element within it, and if every function within it, every pump, every motor, all kinds of wonderful energetics within our body, including obviously the miracles of light, crystals, you name it, it's in the body. So doing other magic out there, personally, I think that's where the world got into a lot of trouble. It's a very, very fine line, but that's a personal thing, and I don't have to partake in it. And I believe that's why I am where I am, because I've done magic once. I mean, besides eating and cooking up a storm with herbs and planting magical gardens and talking to flowers and trees and butterflies and dancing with fairies. Oh, interesting. Yeah. They were, yeah, anyway. So, what interesting times we are living in. So let us just clear our three main basic areas, which is our heart, our crown, our head, and our base. That's a beautiful lemniscate, that's beautiful figure 8, which is also the figure of strength. So 1, beautiful heart cleansing. So much our heart copes with. 2. Sacred energies, thank you. And let's have some instincts, some beautiful spiritual guide instincts or incense, awakening our instincts. going to be very interesting to see where we go through this portal. So let's just clear the energies, make space for the new, allow the old to disappear behind us, around us, within us, over. Oh, Grace, thank you, beautiful one. I love you too very much, Grace. Thank you so much for being here. We were just clearing our instincts with instincts. Oh no, Yuki, go to go. It is so hot here. It must be cooking where you are. Oh, let me just deal with my little boy. How are you doing through the solstice? Very, very, very interesting energy. It's really created one of the biggest still points I've ever felt. It's like everything's come to a halt. No, my bunny. No, 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 no. There we go. It is so hot we can hardly breathe here, so I can only imagine what it must be like in the desert. What have we got here, Yuki? We have yummy something. They have these weirdest snacks in Germany. This looks like shampoo or their conditioner, but they do say, I don't think he likes it. Nope, he doesn't like it. Okay, so that was called a veggie cream, so he doesn't like it. So, sorry, I am a little all over the place. Oh, he really didn't like that. Oh, that was been gross, Yuki. I'm sorry. It's been, yeah. We're jumping, yes. We're jumping very quickly. As somebody was saying, if that was walking, we're now like skipping. And when I heard that, I just thought of PG with his stones skimming, his visuals of skimming the stones and skimming the portals. Yeah, it's going very quickly, and it's really jumping, boing, 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 boing. And yeah, I usually do things a little differently, but I'm in tune with a lot of things, and I'm like kind of used to that now. No, I'll never get used to it. Nope, I'll never get used to it. But I just feel today that I wanted to it's almost like a little bit of tidying up of the solstice. And it is like, so many people, it's like these are the buzzwords at the moment. And they weren't 10 years ago. People were not really, very few people, the indigenous people. But not all. You must remember there's only like a little handful of these people that are still really believing. The rest of they're trying to bring them back into the fold. But a lot of these, they live on these plantations. That was another era. There is reservations, or they live in the mountains, and many of them don't want to be part of the old culture. They also want to move on to another culture. So it's a battle to bring the children back into the fold. Yeah. So I was looking at what he's doing in Burkina Faso is just amazing. That he's offering them education on building, on farming, the opportunity to connect with each other, and then giving them plots of land and machinery. Yeah, it's like the whole full Monty. So there's not this huge big drive away from the countryside. And that's, in a way, it's a nice build up to the solstice, because farming. It's without the solstice, without the sun, we would have no farms. And yeah, we are on a bit of a razor's edge. And that was just actually what I wanted to just remind us about. That I mean, even I would do sometimes with the Stein and stuff, but then yeah, you kind of forget it because it's not such a big deal. Yeah, unless you've really got a group that's doing it. My son would do it, and then he would like, oh, decide that he's got to go collect wood, or he'd start painting his body and wooling around the swimming pool or whatever. And then I was like, I mean, just leave him be, let whatever he's doing. And say, oh, okay. And they say, no, we've got to have a fire tonight. And then I'd look at the date and I'd say, oh, okay. I understand it's because it's solstice. So kids are still very tuned in, even if we're not tuned in. Well, a lot of them, and I think more and more are right now. I'm not exactly sure how to really like start this, but so I just feel that we've almost forgotten why are we doing solstice? You know, I know that energies are moving into a completely new. We're going to be in a new energy, so I'm really feeling like I'm just doing this tidying up and reminding us and myself, and doing all this like just a little bit of um, remembrance. Ah, yes. Mercury is a planet, yeah, wrapped up in a. Ah, yeah, she is our beautiful turquoise girl. Eh? There is blue and blue. It's turquoise. Hmm. Oh, thank you, Grace. We really do tune in very beautifully to each other's energy here. Thank you so much. Yeah, this is what I was just feeling, that the planet is being blanketed also in this beautiful golden energy, and it's like just like lotion. It's like melting in, but it's very very new. I've been like in connection with PG. He's doing like crazy stuff, like just absolutely breathtaking, beautiful, different. Thank goodness. I'm really very grateful for. Hello, beautiful Chloe. Yeah, and turquoise is very special because it's a blending of colors, and for the Chinese, it's harmony. And it's like one of those weird things that just work. You can just bring that color into wherever you want harmony. No, it's nice in your, and it's just such a beautiful, soothing color. Yeah, it's a very, very precious stone as well. Oh, it's a very, with all its, yeah, it's the sea, it's water, it's the sky sometimes. It's strangely, I don't. There might be some fruits, and there are very few flowers which would be turquoise. I don't think so. I mean, you have the jade vine, but I can't offhand think of flowers that are really turquoise, or even fruits. There would be in plumage. The peacock would have some, but I can't think of other food. And there's this beautiful sense when the blue becomes the when the green becomes the blue, which is when the student um, becomes more powerful or more wise than the master, outstrips the master. Hopefully in a good, but yeah, this is very beautiful. These are definitely images right now to I'll post a few of these ones up on Discord. Are you on Discord, Chloe? I'm not sure. Those were some really interesting pictures that you had on your site. Very interesting stuff. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Oh, thank you for that. Thank you for that. I like that, Grace. Mm. It's very beautiful, glowing. Yeah. I think, well, if I saw it like I did, then it's a color that's come onto the planet for us to know. It was a little while ago when I went through like some kind of crazy heartbreak, and I had that. Remember, I don't know if you, I had that intense pain in my eye. It wasn't the migraine while I was on a live. I couldn't even have my glasses on. Pain, which is like quite scary. And then I got this intense turquoise flash. With my eyes, I got the magenta and I got the sapphire blue, sometimes the purple, not that much. It's not like a color that I was given, because those other two colors, like I will see sound, like there'll be a noise and then I'll see these explosions. So the turquoise was also something that was given because of this interesting condition I have. You're maybe also so lucky. I wrote in my diary at one stage, oh, people will also be so jealous that I'm blind. God. Anyway, so we were talking about the solstice and what it actually means and how long it is, and like, you know, you just do the solstice and we know it's like something powerful, and it's the sun. Oh, now you see there, I had a beautiful big flash just over your message, Grace. Thank you, Archangel Michael and Archangel Raphael. Thank you, I like that. So some things, it goes back to, did I lose myself? Oh, I hope I didn't. Oh no, I didn't. Now I can say my head is like fuzzed up with heat. Oh golly, I take it it's hot where everybody is. So just some things that I was thinking about the sun. I'm in a very still point, and we'll get to that just now, so don't stress if you are. It's so much big energy. It's really big. It's really big. And as Grace said, we're jumping. So it's if we were walking, or we're jumping. And we don't know where we're really, we keep saying we don't know, but now I think we really don't know. The energies are very, very new, and it's taking a lot of bravery. And as PG said the other day, you better get used to dying one way or another, because it is the phoenix energy, which is also the energy of the sun, which is like the sun rising and coming down. Everything's been built around the sun since like way back when there was a dot. Oh, in the wind there's a green, yeah, whoosh. And even if we were beings of light, we were still like absorbing the sunlight, as into the crystals of our being, which made us shimmer. And we were sun eaters, and we lived on the sun. We didn't need to eat food, but we were sustained by this incredible sun. Solaris. And there are very beautiful sun beings that are coming through. I think I saw them because I know people were talking about them a little while, just like recently, these gold beings. And I had like 3 beings arrive on my birthday, not this last one, the previous birthday. And I just knew that they were ancient. They don't come very often, but sometimes they just pop in and they're very gold. So I think that these are sun beings. I have to really tune into them more and just not listen. I'm really trying not to listen to anybody right now. I just need to tune into my own stuff right now, because it gets so confusing out there. And who knows what's right. Yeah. Some things are nice too. to enjoy. But yeah, but back to the sun. So for as long as ever, people have worshipped, venerated, ruled their whole life has been ruled by the sun. Yeah. As I said, yeah, it's represented by the phoenix. In Chinese, we always have the sun in the front, which is in the south, and that is the phoenix, and that is also that whole death and rebirth. So the sun does both of the solstices, the summer solstice and the winter solstice, are huge power turning points on the earth, and the whole magnetic structure of the earth has changed. And the earth, I think, I mean, we can really feel it, how it literally stands still. Yeah? So why we just get totally simple and totally logical, because these are sometimes the way that we answer the biggest, deepest questions, and there can come the absolute magic of something else. We take our lives, we take the water that we have that comes out of the tap, or that we can switch on our electricity, and that we use a remote for our TV. We get in our car, it starts almost, yeah, we've all got problems, whatever. But these are things that we just take for granted. We're going off down to the store because we've run out of milk, and you can just go to the local corner cafe and buy some milk, yeah, or bread and milk, yeah. The older, and then not that long ago, you had to think about it. You had to store things. It was so weird. It was somebody once said that was their interpretation why Western people were more intelligent. But yeah, things we know now have changed quite a bit. He said it was because we had such long winters and we had to prepare. We had to think about preparation, about our food. So we weren't just hunter-gatherers, which people in Africa, a lot of them are all year round, just hunter-gatherers. There's food all year round. Whereas in Europe, where it got cold, and I suppose, yeah, further up north where it got in America as well, you had to think about putting stuff away for the winter. And it was so important that you had good sunshine, because if you didn't have good sunshine, you wouldn't have any food. And if you didn't have any food, you wouldn't be alive. And if you didn't have any good sunshine, your animals wouldn't graze. So everything was totally dependent upon the sun. Yeah? We don't see at night, no matter how bright the moon is. You can't sew your tent in the night. You can't do beadwork by the moonlight. So everything was totally dependent on the sun. At sun up we go, at sunrise we move, so that we could get the full day going. Farmers still, their lives revolve around the sun. They must be up a little bit before sunrise to milk the cows and get the chickens, and it's a long, long, long day. And then go to bed like when the sun goes down. Very difficult here in Europe, because in Germany here, because we have sun almost the whole night, so like crazy. So it became like this whole sun cult, this whole sun worship, all over the world. Everybody has standing stones to the sun, aligned at this time. And how did they know that all of them knew it was solstice? They didn't get it wrong. Then they know when it's solstice 1 and solstice 2, it's going to align. And they built these stones with perfect alignment, usually to Sirius, not always to Sirius. Oh, Yuki, my dog, excuse me. He is being, he knows he can get snacks. No, come on, baby. Look what I got for you. Come. It's going to make you want to go. Come. It's bad. It's bad, bad, bad. It becomes real bribery and corruption. And it's not good. Hey, baby. So, yeah, and as I said, sometimes it seems like it's self-explanatory why we have solstice, but it's not really, because people, we don't think. We don't stop to think. They had to, like, if the sun made everything grow, but obviously too much sun would like burn the crops and like take up the water, so they needed a good balance of the sun. From Egyptian times, and remember there were people, lots of people before the Egyptians. They weren't like all Sumerians and coming down in spacecraft. There were also other people on the planet. Hunter-gatherers, nomadic people, the people of the earth, the original people, the whatever that's politically correct to call them, the indigenous people in America, the American Indians, whatever. A lot of them were nomadic and hunter-gatherers. A lot of African, yes, there were a lot of like really incredibly wealthy tribes in Africa and wealthy cities, but there were also a lot of people that were hunter-gatherers. Not everybody lived in the city. So if you lived outside of the city, you had your homestead and you had your animals and you planted your corn and you prayed for water. You had some form of very simple irrigation, but you definitely were very, very grateful for the sun. And if there was no sun, we would be in darkness. And without the sun, nothing, absolutely nothing is going to grow. Underneath the water, way down deep, there's some really weird things with crazy teeth and they glow in the dark. But they make their own light. That's where the sun don't shine. But pretty much everything needs sunshine. There's a lot more to the sun than we think. It's not just about causing plasma and ascension symptoms and then wanting to block out the sun. I mean, it's going to be really silly and scary because we need that energy. And, I've been talking about like trying to eat something as close to it that has been grown every day, because the sun is putting its codes into us, but into the food that we're eating. And every day it's changing. I just find it like so interesting that everybody knew exactly when solstice was. I mean, it's the same as when they had this big whatever it was called, Marabara, in India. Every 4 years or every 12 years they have this really big one, and all these guys come out of the snow and they just like descend. They all just know it's going to happen now. I mean, it's a lot of days to be counting. They do mini ones every 4 years, but the big ones every 12 years. And then they just descend on time. For me, it's fascinating. And it's where I'm really thinking and working that I want to get back to, is just my body being this incredible instrument with everything within it. All crystals in it, all metals in it, all chemicals in it, all functions, all pumps, all machinery. Leverage, digestion, eliminations, manufacturers. And it's obviously we just need to just keep cutting more and more of the poop out of the things, the rubbish that we eat. As I just keep saying, it's just eat the best that you can. The cleanest, the healthiest, you know what to do. It's not always easy you can't just decide that you're going to become a sun eater. Your husband might not want to eat sunshine. So yeah, be just but the best that you can within your family. I still find it really, and in Germany, where people do know a lot better than most countries. You still look at the trolleys, and there's so much Coca-Cola and so many chips that are eaten. On a Saturday afternoon, it's gone. Those aisles in the supermarket are empty, so they're obviously still selling. That's just totally a bit off topic, but I was just briefly saw a thing on the chemicals that they put in our food, the synthetic flavorings and the warning signs, especially on the containers that these artificial flavorings are shipped in. Like orange is shipped because it's so toxic. Artificial flavoring, so we're talking Fanta orange, is shipped in a black container because it's so scary and so dangerous and so volatile. And yeah, they are health. They're not. They don't even talk about them being health hazards. They're going to explode or corrode. Anyway, yeah, it just went out of hand a little bit. I mean, I just still think it was just so exciting to discover all these things, and then it went like out of hand. But let's get back to the sun. So hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years ago, people started to worship the sun. They knew exactly when solstice was, and they started to make monuments all over, like Stonehenge, all the way up north to Sweden. They drew these beautiful, beautiful petroglyphs all over the world, carvings. It's also so interesting that when the child says I, so there's some connection here, that when the child becomes me, mine, they draw the glyph of the sun, which is, and there's children all over the world. They could never have seen a picture book. So it's the circle with the dot in it, and that's when the part of the ego starts to come into children. So yeah, for them especially, and originally the Egyptian kings. This was like part of what I believed for long ago, that they were the sun kings, the sun gods, and the priests started to abuse the power, and then it became ritualistic, and you had to pay the priests. But before it wasn't that. I'm not going to get into the Egyptian stuff because that's for many people what it's all about, the Sun Ra. But hugely, and it's connected with gold, and it's connected with the sun. And the Inca gold was not really about gold, gold, gold. It was about the sun, and it was about the corn. The gold they had was very thin and not that much. Obviously, gold for people, there's something really special about gold, yeah. So that all over the world, everything was dependent upon the sun, and yeah, even more so than it is today. I mean, remember that if they they ran out of corn, they couldn't like call up Russia and say, hey, send over a container of corn. It didn't happen. You have no corn, you got no food. You're going to be very hungry. You're going to starve, and a lot of your people will most probably get ill and die. If you have no corn in your own personal storehouse, you can't go dashing off down to the local, like 7-Eleven, and pick up a bag of popcorn. You had to, you had to know that the sun was doing its job, and without the sun, it wasn't going to work. You just stop and think. Too much rain and things go moldy. We've lost. We need to just stop with these things. Seem so so simple, and a lot of people don't want to hear the simple stuff. They want signs and wonders, ta-da, and magic and tricks. But it's just the real magic is the simplicity and the complexity and the magnificence of the earth. That's the real magic. Yeah? But if we stop to think a little bit, like what, it doesn't take long, but just like in a meditation, or walking meditation, what would my life have been like 1,000 years ago? Walking in the same spot where you are, there would have been wild animals. We've divorced ourselves so far away from nature. We're in crisis. Yeah. We're bringing back all the bits and pieces of the magic tools towards us. As in crystals and vegetarianism and talking to the animals, but the simple stuff, we really need to just stop and think. So what would have been? Yeah? There would have been wild animals. I would have gone down to the to the river. I wouldn't have fished myself. I would have gone and bartered some fish for something. Mhm. Otherwise, I wouldn't have eaten. Where would I have got my food from? Now I just go into my cupboard in my fridge. It's dreadful. I mean, it's quite scary when you stop to think about it. Like, what the F, where have we got to? So we're talking about solstice, why it was so important. Yeah. And I think when we can get like why it was so important, we can start to build on a little bit even bigger as to why it is so important. Because this one, yes, we need to build up on our ancient future, the ancient, but we're moving into something really different. But no, don't throw the baby out of the bathwater. Know a little bit just a little bit. You don't have to know too much, but just the basics. It was something very interesting. My husband long ago said to me, when you know how to wash your clothes by hand, you can appreciate a washing machine. And it was really like that's a lot of wise words, in that. Because most people have no idea how to even wash clothes by hand. Where do you start? How are you going to wring a pair of jeans? You can do this on the tap. How do you plant things? People don't know how to plant. They have no idea. They had a big problem in Germany a couple of decades ago, where many children from Berlin and the cities thought that cows were purple because of the Milka chocolate. And it's got that purple cow on it. Many people, I won't say everybody knows Milka, but many people know Milka. So the king, yet again, he was the ruler of the clan, the ruler of the kingdom. But people were mainly in clans. He was responsible for the sun, and if he was, and I've said this like long ago with South Africa, if the government is out of whack, how can you expect the people to be in line? So it's similar. So they would look at the king. I'm not sure when they sacrificed him, to be honest. It must have, no, was it? It must have been Beltane. No, it would have been later when the crops failed. Because if they had a bad year, they would sacrifice the king. And that was very often up on the Mount of Tara, which was Glastonbury. Glastonbury Tor was a great place where they sacrificed the kings because the crops had failed. Because it was like in England very easy not to have enough sun. I suppose there would be a sun worshippers. No, the sun worshippers were all over, all everywhere. Nowhere on the planet did nobody worship the sun. or venerate the sun, whichever you want to call it. So the solstices, both of them, became the most important rituals of the year. Obviously, the others were very important. Um, as I said, we had Beltania a little while ago. That was the sexy festival, and everybody was shagged. It was like a great big fertility thing, and they believed that if they like shagged all over the land, on the land, that would make the land fertile. And it's great. It's wonderful. Lots of babies born 9 months later. And that was May Day. You now we're waiting. Now they're waiting to see where the crops are, and then of course you have harvest, and that along with that comes Halloween, which was much later because Halloween became a festival that everybody in America could celebrate together. They didn't need a language. Yuki, I'm going to have to cut this short now. But yeah, the solstices where we were at this high point, and then obviously, and I was just feeling like these guys, thinking, oh God. I mean, as nice as it is that the sun's going to start changing, but I'm thinking, oh, then we're going to have these long nights and short days. So yeah, I'm sure that everybody in the oldie days, because they remember there were no lights, eh? So your days became very, very short. Sometimes they had fires on the beaches or near the beaches, but not that much. I do still, so we're not going to get into semantics about this. I do obviously still strongly believe that we had a huge energy current running through the world, which was related to the pyramids and the ancient sites. But I think that's going back a long, long, long way. There was a lot of time when I think the Dark Ages people were in the West. But it's just time just to pause to think. Yeah. And how important it was to the people. It's not just oh, let me wave my little magic wand and dance around like a little fairy, and it was quite serious. It was like really amazing to have this festival. So and then that was just also like just what I find also so incredibly interesting is that I'm sure it was so different, hey? And yeah, it was their main source of food, yeah. Very color in Africa too, in the Transkei, you get this very colorful corn. It's purple and black and red. It's beautiful. The guy thought I was crazy. I had to take it to where's Karen? Where's Karen? I didn't see anybody. I'm only halfway here. Yeah. 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 I mean, we just be grateful for these things, yeah. It's all about gratitude, and it just makes it a little bit more. Hey Karen, how are you doing, my sweetheart? I hope you're doing fine. Oh, it is. We used to watch the sun and we used to listen to the earth. And those things that, the old fishermen would say with whatever the red skies, we're going to have rain, or all of those, or stormy weather, they're so wise. It's really nice if you can find, and we're going into this huge space of the Phoenix, yeah. Humanity is going through a reboot, a big one, shedding our skin. I think it's because the year of the snake, we're not really changing. We are rebooting, yeah, and we're transmuting. We're not well, we are transforming, but it's a snake, and that sits within the center of the feng shui, which is the snake, and it's constantly changing, constantly removing its skin, and yeah. So very, very, very much now, as we're moving into this new energy, which I have like bits and pieces of it, like it's a lot of the mother. But we've known that it's kind of I'm feeling like I'm feeling really weird because I'm feeling quite deflated at this moment because I've done all of what everybody's waiting for. Like you're gonna get what I was doing like a while back for so long in my life, and it's like, oh fuck, now where do I go? I didn't know that's what I was doing. So it's okay. I'm just like gathering so much of my energy. There was just something I wanted to bring up, and it's like it keeps jumping up in my thoughts to say that we've divorced ourselves so much from nature, and it's very much from the Abrahamic religions that divorced themselves from nature, which was also the Queen of Sheba, and she was from Ethiopia, and she went to see Solomon. And then lots of stuff. It's all in the Bible, but then they've also got the Ethiopian Bible. It's very old. And she agreed, I think it's in the Bible, that she would follow their God and she would take away any rituals and they would no longer believe in nature spirits. I'll get into this a little bit more, but I remember just a couple of months ago, a few months ago, when I read the part of the Ethiopian Bible, I was like really interested in it when they uncovered it. And I just thought, oh God, what is it? They took like the nature spirits and the Abrahamic religions also did, so that all that we must believe in is this, not the Christ. They said that there should be two Bibles, two separate Bibles. Yeah? Yuki bands. So that's also just something very interesting to dwell on. And I don't know, if I think of like the sun is totally like scientific, you know, it's, yeah, I'm coming, my bunny. I'm going to have to go. My dog is really crying at the door. So give it a little bit of time to think and just dwell upon our beautiful sun. And we'll go into that tomorrow. And tomorrow is also another day. It's not the big one. There's 4 Navratri festivals. That's a sort of underground one that starts tomorrow, but we can follow it. It's mainly for like deep seekers that want to work with the 9 phases of the goddess. But I will bring it in for us. So right now I'm going to just let, because my dog is going bunka, and I'm just very lucky that the lady downstairs is not here. Yeah, there are many Bibles out there, but that was, yeah, it's part because she agreed. But we'll talk about it another time. I have to dash with my dog, and yeah, washing clothes by hand. Well, you know, I was stupid. My when I first got married, my husband had beautiful jerseys, which were knitted by his mother in wool. I just threw everything in the washing machine. Well, you know what happened to his jerseys, you know. Yeah, beautifully, you know, pure wool. Ah, well, yeah. So thank you everybody for being here. And let me just show us some pretty pictures. Quick. Oh no, that's not what I wanted. Where do I want to be? Ha! So I've just been working. This is what I'm seeing at the moment. This is what I'm seeing out there in the sky. It's all these fractals and like mosaics and flowers. So yeah. And lots of new codes and old codes just pouring into the sun. I will post these up because they're just so awesome. So I will put them up on Discord. You can enjoy them and just take a little time to meditate upon the sun and the energy that we're getting. Because I think if we just, yeah, obviously we need to meditate and to just bring in what's coming into us right now and be receptive to these sun energies. So I love and leave you, and thank you for being here, and apologies that I had to cut this short, but yeah, I will absolutely, Grace. I will indeed. I'm going to post them all. I can send that other one to you as well. Oh, thank you. I like this one. This one's like, wow. This one's really feeling. It's like got the two suns, but yeah, the earth. And I'm still the rainbows. I'm not there. I've been, and that's like, what did I feel like? I mean, I've been doing rainbows for years, but like really focused. Been doing rainbows for 2.5 months every day, pouring rainbow energy out onto the earth. So now I'm feeling a little, thank you, Grace. I'm feeling a little deflated while everybody's waiting for the rainbow energy to come in. And I'm like, no, now what do I do? Now what do I do? Namaste and love you. And yeah, I've just got my head in the mother's lap. It's just feeling good and comfortable for now. So love, 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 love. Please, 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 please. And yeah, we will see you somewhere through the YouTube. Love you all. Thank you for being here. Bye.